Hello my good students, welcome to the continuation of our War on the Sea series as the Japanese Navy. We are so close to finally landing on Manila. Can't believe how many times I've said that, but once again the Americans just getting in the way with some really nasty invasion possibilities of their own. It looks like we have escaped that possibility for the short term around Keelung after we sunk a bogue and a few supply ships around that. They are still pushing into our territory, with the New Mexico surviving that and a couple more supply ships around in that task force. So we have to keep an eye out for that. So it looks like they're going for Okinawa. We have placed a couple subs around that to double check and to ward those off if they do come too close. But of course, once again, the aim for today is to land on Manila. We're fairly close. It's going to be a couple days time for our main invasion supplies to come into range from Kure. That's going to take a bit of time, just a case of waiting for that, and then we have to go the long way around Manila, and let's just go to the strategic map to explain why. So it's the start of a brand new day, and why do we have to go the long way around to Manila? Well, we can't go to the more eastern side over here. We do have to go to the western side of Manila. You can see we have to go into this little cove here to actually get to the base, which means we have to come all the way around from Hong Kong rather than go straight on down from Okinawa and such, but that's not to worry. Not particularly difficult there. We have taken, of course, Puerto Princesa in Hong Kong, so it's just the stuff on Manila, but once again, level 5 airfield. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough ask. We are going to bring in all of our close by carriers. We do have the Akagi and Kaga over here. We're going to bring those over here, or Akagi and Hiryu rather. Saying those together just rolls off the tongue. And we do have Zuiho here as well. We're going to bring this round a bit closer to support over here. And of course we are just waiting on the invasion supplies. That does have, let's see how long that's going to take. It's going to take 112 hours, roughly 113.9 there. So once we get closer to Formosa, we'll load up our supplies from Hong Kong. Hopefully by then we will have destroyed the defending allies over here, because we can't leave those to do as they wish while we're away. We are just waiting with our main invasion troops outside here. So that should be okay really, with that support. And so we're just going to wait and see if the Americans want to get in our way once again, really. Going to try and keep an eye out for any supply ships that they send our way, because we're getting closer and closer to that magic 300. We are on 246 enemy ships sunk, which is excellent for us indeed. As a note, we did send back the couple heavy cruisers from our Guam Defence Task Force into the dockyard. They now have 6 and 3 days to repair in total, which is brilliant. We do have their replacements already attached. We have the Suzuya and the Chokai over here, which is brilliant for us. So let's see. Not catching anything with that Yamato task force actually. Might want to bring them down closer to Truk, because we have seen some more things around there, and of course around the Philippines. Maybe we'll send them over actually to Iwo Jima, just in case. We'll circle round and we'll do a quick scout around there. This will take a lot of time though, but then we'll bring them back down to the Philippines and see what happens with that. Because I don't want to keep our Yamato idle really. I really want to get some use out of that. I do want a big capital ship battle if possible. It would be historically accurate for the Yamato to not see any decent action until we lose the war, but that won't happen, I'm sure. So let's carry on and see what we can do today. Okay guys, so it appears, if you can see over the crashing waves over here, we have sighted that retreating cargo supply force over towards Okinawa. So I'm wondering if they have actually spotted us. They do have a scout in the area, but the sea state is fairly high at a sea state of 6, and the visibility is 57%. I am going to try and go for this New Mexico here, I think. Simply because if we do destroy that, they will be forced to retreat, and that's a battleship, of course, we don't have to worry about in the future. So we're going to send one load at the moment, so let's just identify that to help out our solution. Want to build that up as quickly as possible. It is on standard class over here. There we go. Have we sunk one before? We have. Lovely. So our solution actually not looking too bad at the moment, at around 60 and climbing, and that's climbing fairly steadily. We're going to fire out 6 possible torpedoes. It's a 1 degree spread to begin with. So we are looking pretty decent on this actually. We're going to go a bit quicker to try and get closer to them. I did slow down because we formed up a line ahead, one submarine behind the other, and I would like to get 2 salvos off here. But if that doesn't happen, then fair enough. We have to be careful around these scouts over here. So let's just dive down to 20 meters. So I don't want that to ruin us. It will be firing out at the glen surely, so we're going to try and hide, run out of there, come back to their flank, just maintain sight with that. Guessing the visual glitch again, where we're getting shot at from. Oh dear, that's a rather interesting one there, but not to worry. It doesn't make any difference there. I'm sure it won't count. So we've got a decent angle on this. We've got a very nice solution, bobbing between 79 and 80-ish. Not to worry there. We've got a 42 degree lead. Gonna wait for that to tighten up a bit so that we don't hit accidentally any destroyers, perhaps. And it'll be a nice amount of command points actually sinking a New Mexico. I forget, where are we? What is the torpedo protection? 55%. You can see how beefy these standard classes are. Look at the amount of armour just on them. It's very, very high. The belt's disgusting at 343 millimeters. Magazine the same. Rather nasty. How does that compare to things like North Carolina? It's a little less armour, a little less. But certainly more than the Iowa over here. On the belts at least. The magazine, disgustingly large. They do follow different armour design philosophies, don't they? So I think we're safe from the scouts. Let's go back to periscope depth with this sub over here. We'll do the same over here as well. I think we will skip ahead to when we're about to fire out, I think. Okay, so I think we're about ready to fire out. We're going to fire 3 torpedoes as a 2 degree spread with our more rear aligned submarine here. And once those torpedoes have passed through, I think we're going to fire out the 6 1 degree spread with this submarine over here, just to make sure we do have that extra firepower out there. I'm not entirely convinced, even if all 6 torpedoes do hit the target, that they will actually sink the ship. And I think really we can fire out pretty much at the same time. There's not a lot of distance to cover really, is there? So I think we're going to fire out about now. Should be going out fairly easily there. Very, very nice indeed. And that is excellent. So we're going to go to silent down scopes once again. Is there a thermal layer? No, there's not. Never bloody is there? Going to go to their rear. They don't have any supporting destroyers to their rear, so that is just a no-brainer. Silent with this one as well. Max speed to the rear as well. Should all be good there. So fingers crossed. Looks like we're not going to hit the transport ship. Was the destroyer actually in front, wasn't it? That's very, very lucky indeed. Thinner target, smaller target. We'll see. The lead when we fired off was pretty much dead on at between 0 and 3 degrees lead. So we'll see about that. Should be okay with the destroyer here. Fingers crossed, eh? In the interim period, while we bring our supplies closer to Manila, I've been out attacking supply convoy after supply convoy. We've had the same around trucks, so sent out some Mavises thinking it would just be the usual 2 supply ships. Looks like we're wrong here. We've caught something rather large here. I think I see a battleship over here. What do we see over here. Yes, there's a battle force over here. We're still going to go down with our Mavises. I want to use them. Get greedy. We're going to try and hit. This looks like a county over here. What is leading them? Whoa. Big, juicy battleship. Very big, juicy battleship indeed. Well, battle cruiser, actually, if you want to use the correct terminology there. But it's going to be a race to actually dive down with these Mavises here to actually hit this ship. This is right outside of Truk. We do have some submarines about to deal with this if need be, but we shall see about that. We shall see about that. We'll try and get a manual off here. They're not going particularly quick over here. See if we can. I don't know if we're at a decent altitude there. It's difficult to tell, but it looks like we are. Dropped just in time by the looks of it before we lose all of our planes. That's going to really help us out though. Not quite enough lead to get all of our torpedoes on, but we'll get 2 on the rear there. We'll have to see about that. Should have really aimed at the nose there. We know better than to just aim at the centre of the ship. But it didn't look like it was going particularly quick there, but of course the torpedoes are not overly fast. Not to worry. Let's have a look around this task force then. We have a Brooklyn, and we have, I believe, Renown, which is brilliant. Rather nasty indeed. Rather nasty indeed. That tough battle cruiser to crack, actually, that would be, with a surface engagement. But how are we looking with this county? It's not looking too healthy, is it? Take a report. Heavies are heavy. Not so bad there. Could develop with the help of that Mavis crashing into it, but would have liked those extra torpedoes to hit. That would have been a really nice little cheeky baggage, actually. I'll have to see about that. Those fires are really extensive. You can see it is struggling. It does have a list, but not much else to say. Just have to wait, really. Okay, so we're closing in on Manila with our first round of troops and supplies over here. These are taken, I believe, yeah, these are the Davao supplies or troops landing over here. So we are going to have to wait for these supplies over here before we do launch our attack onto Manila, but we're so close now. Have launched out some zeros to cover, but we've not been intercepted at all yet. You can see we're well within their radar range, and they're running out of airtime hours, which is really good news for us. We're going to bring in our 2 carriers and a tag close to them so that we can support on the retreats, because if that's going to be the case, if they're not flying in already, we will be attacked on the retreats, you can bet. So it's not going to take too long now to unload all of our cargo over here. That is absolutely brilliant. We have seen they've got a bit of activity around here, just patrolling around with the battleship task force by the looks of it. We do have our submarines to screen over here, and we do of course have the massive amount of carriers to protect us as well, so that's looking good indeed. We have forced off the defenders of Hong Kong, but we have 0 integrity pretty much from 10. That's going to be 1 more week until that starts decaying, so we're piling all of our engineering task force stuff onto there to begin with. This was intended to go to resupply Truk, but I do want to keep Hong Kong in the game rather than just have it as an empty base. So we don't want that to decay, and it's quite likely the enemy will try to invade that and bypass Manila in the future, as we've seen previously. So it's quite interesting there that we've got to tackle that, but not to worry. Let's keep going and see if they do actually bother sending out some air raids against our supply ships there. Okay, so they have finally sent out just a group of Wildcats so far. We don't have any air radar to cover us, so we are sending out, there we go, there's some more planes. It does appear to just be Wildcats so far, which is rather interesting. So we are scouting out with our zeros here because we don't have that air radar. But we aren't going to yet. Here we go, here comes some more Wildcats. They are armed with bombs so far. We are of course going to try and tell our zeros to come in and attack like that then. Yeah, there's a lot of them now. We're certainly going to need reinforcements here. Absolutely going to need reinforcements. Let's tell all of our zeros to come in. No need to give any really precise orders just yet because they're piling in. What have we got here? Is that some buffaloes? Interesting there. Alright, see. Alright, see. It's quite the mix then. Really is quite the mix. We've got only 15 zeros to deal with this. We've counted 19 to 20 so far. We have downed one, which is brilliant. Can we get a second here already before the true fighting starts? Apparently not there. Rather unlucky. Rather unlucky indeed. We are going to have to send out some more zeros then if this is the case from Akagi and Hiryu. But not to worry. That's quite an easy task to be done. That's why they're here. Probably should have sent them out a bit earlier. But the lack of enemy scouting is rather encouraging. Giving us a false sense of security, I'm sure, is the plan there. We get a quick burst out on the turn here. That'll do. Don't think we even skimmed that one though. How many planes have we got? I've counted 24. Yeah, 24 enemy planes in total. That's a lot for our 15 to deal with. What are we targeting over here? We might want to give some more concise orders as we're flying around. Just try and get in on the backs over here, I think. Source ourselves out. Not looking too bad over here, are we? It's just trying to maintain certain speeds and such. Are we going to get on the back of that Wildcat? Getting over there. Guessing over this one appears to be targeting something else, but that has been downed over. That is brilliant. Flying very close to the water's surface there. We are downing some Wildcats though. They're struggling. We've sighted even more aircraft. Is that anywhere near our ships? It doesn't appear so, but it is some Avengers, so we are going to have to deal with that. Let's pause around here very quickly. Let's just send out a few planes to deal with that. Let's come round over here, shall we? Send out 4 or 5 planes if possible. Don't need to worry too much about the Wildcats if they're dogfighting, but any torpedo bombers coming in is a massive threat. Even though we are, in a decent position, decent formation to cover ourselves here, we're going to carry on as we are at the moment at the set course. Excuse me, at the set course. Don't know where this plane's going. If we're idling, we'll certainly go for some of the strike aircraft here. Not entirely sure what's going on here either. I don't think we're maintaining our orders once again. So we'll go for the strike aircraft. Looks like the enemy Wildcats and fighters are pulling out actually, if that's what's happening here. Let's go over. Yeah, looks like they're pulling out. Or just trying to make us waste our time, really. Either way, that's what it comes down to, so we are going to try and go for the Avengers and such if possible there. Looks like we're mostly going for that. Guessing on the backs here of some by the looks of it. Let's get some shots out. There we go. Excellent, that's one wave down. Let's try and go around to this wave over here. Got some more coming out over here. Maybe it was just more than the it was just more than the fighters then, just screening for them. AI does put some thought into their attacks sometimes and get some early shots out over here, just so we can get a decent one pass on that particular plane. Let's come over here and get some early shots out again because we are in range. Might be able to get both of them fairly quickly here actually, and that's very, very nice indeed. What are we aiming at over here? Looks like we're diving down onto some Avengers there. No, we are still going for the Buffaloes over here, and that's not too bad. Does mean our zeros are that much safer. We do have to target this rear line over here with something, because otherwise we're going to be in a bit of bother. Bit of a problem if we do let anything through, because we've done that previously and it's not gone too well for us. Finally lost a zero. We will turn around over here because I don't think we have a lot going for this group either. We are attacking and downing more fighters though by the looks of things. That's another Avenger down. We could slow our speed down here. I did not see that fighter on our tail there. They're getting closer, absolutely getting closer. It's not looking good, is it? Should be getting into our small arms now. That's not good at all. Gonna have to just try and focus. Don't have fire at will on. Just looks like they are just ignoring us again. But we definitely sent more zeros out into this direction, didn't we? Don't think this one's gonna quite catch up now. Oh, these guys looking. Gonna have to slow down here. Turn around. Did they drop? Looks like they did. We turned probably the wrong way for that. We should only eat the one torpedo here. Just the one. But we're going to have to watch out for any further hits with that torpedo. Never get any bloody American duds when you need them, do you? Looks like it was only that one wave that got in though. So that should be the only drop we have to worry about there. We'll let that torpedo pass through and destroy these fighters, I think. Not wanting to fire out over there by the looks of it. What have we spotted here? Not entirely sure there. I want to reverse with this ship here. That's not looking too bad though, actually. How are we looking for damage over here? Nothing we can't get on top of by the looks of it. Should be okay. That one torpedo won't down us. I think we can just stop here. That's not going to hit us. Okay, so that is brilliant. Let's go back to the strategic map after destroying these fighters. Okay, so after downing those planes, we are finally in range to unload our troops and supplies onto Manila. Let's just drop off everything at once over here. This should be our troops and such. We have dropped off everything. Doesn't always work. That is brilliant. So the number 2 should be troops and supplies here. A bit of a mix. How are we looking? That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. We are very much undersupplied though. We're waiting for these supplies to drop in. That might not be enough still. It's going to be rather horrible. With a bit of a mix over here. Let's double check we have dropped off everything with these ships here. We have indeed. Just not calculated that properly. That's absolutely fine. What we're going to do then is take some supplies from Puerto Princesa. In fact, I took most of the supplies from there, I think, as reinforcements. And certainly wait for these to come in, I think. So we'll drop off these and see how we go and end the video there, I think. Alrighty then, so this is not looking good at all. You can see we are so well oversupplied here. Looks like we lost a fair few troops on the first few days though, which is rather nasty indeed. We did take our Puerto Princesa supplies over to help out. We're going to have to launch our troops from there as well. And I think the troops in Del Monte as well. But we are absolutely going to have to bombard that if we want a hope in hell of taking Manila for ourselves, which is a massive shame. That would have been a brilliant forward supply base there, but it's just not to be, unfortunately. So invasion support is going to have to move in and bombard that, but that is going to have to be for the next video, I'm afraid. I think that's all we have time for today. I do apologise. We have another group moving around here. They do have some very sneaky patrols out, don't they? But that is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. Very much appreciate you sticking about. I hope you're enjoying the series. So, bloody kicking off now. So I shall see you in the future, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.